Welcome to Espresso Jams, short, concentrated, delicious conversations about business, life, and more. And now, here's your host, Joe Max.
Hello, thank you for joining us for another episode of Espresso Jams. And I am here today with Michelle Fitsch, and she is in the healthcare area and talks about health, but a very specific healthcare related subject, as in retiring healthy so you can actually enjoy. You've saved the money, you've done the right things, you've made it to that retirement age. And don't you want to be healthy to now enjoy that time of your life? Well, welcome to the show, Michelle.
Thank you, Joe. I'm so excited to be here. Thanks for this invitation.
I am glad to have you here because it is something so important. We
Yeah.
often hear so much about getting your finances in order for retirement, but I don't hear a whole lot about people saying get your health in shape for retirement.
I don't either. Yeah.
So you have a unique voice in that space, don't you?
I hope so. I mean, I was in academia, taught professionals like pharmacists and nurses and physicians for years. I practiced in all sorts of different healthcare settings, from the big academic hospitals to smaller clinics, and kept seeing people who failed their retirement lay in hospital beds and realized that could have been prevented, but nobody was preventing it. So I left it all to come and figure out how to help people transition with their health intact and with a plan to keep it that way.
So one thing I heard many years ago that I've internalized, and it is that your health does not accept payment in full. You can only pay for your health over time with a payment plan.
I've never heard it that way, and that's brilliant. I like it.
Yeah, because it's something. Well, let's talk about getting to retirement and being healthy.
Uh-huh.
So,
I've seen so many people who, especially in those last few years before retirement, and especially if it's somebody who really gets their self-worth and kind of defines themselves by this position that they have,
hmm,
they spend those last few years focused on who's going to be my succession plan, how do I get that person trained, what are my goals for this company or this position or this whatever before I leave, and that's all the focus.
hmm,
And I've seen situations where, like on Friday, there's the retirement party. Everybody's there. Up to that moment, everyone has needed this person. Somebody wants to have breakfast. Somebody's on the phone constantly. There's always another meeting. Somebody wants lunch. They just like they can never let up. And then after the retirement party, Monday comes and it's crickets.
hmm.
Everything is just as busy and active at the company as it was before. And amazingly, it is still going even without that person. And now that person's on the other side and it's silent. That is difficult to manage if you haven't planned for it.
Right. So it's so important to have a plan on what you're retiring to,
Yes,
as well as what you're retiring from.
absolutely. And it doesn't have to be the same. If you were an accountant, you might do something completely different in retirement. But I've talked to a number of people who say that they failed at retirement because they were out for a year, had no idea what to do with themselves, and went and found another job.
Yes, I've heard that too. The person who is retired but started another business or has another job.
Yeah, because they just couldn't figure out what to do with themselves. But then
Right.
there are these other people who find a purpose and a passion, and they take all those skills that they've collected, which is many, and then this new purpose or passion, which may be in a whole new area, and they go and they point in that new direction, and they're
Mm.
so fulfilled that their family benefits. They go out and make a big legacy, not just with their money, but with this new passion. But yet they've earned that flexibility that we all want in retirement, that if they want to go spend a month on the beach, they can. The business isn't waiting for them.
Right, right. Now, I thought we were going to be talking about physical health here, and we've been talking about what I would consider more mental health.
And that's because mental health is so closely tied to the physical health. So when those things are not dealt with, that's the people that I was seeing laying in hospital beds with heart attacks, severe depression, massive weight gain, uh, going through difficult times with divorce that was, causing them their blood pressure to go up and their physical health was declining rapidly, all because they had lost who they were and hadn't made this plan for how. So a piece of it is planning your physical health, but so much of it is impacted by all those other pieces of your social health and your mental health and your emotional health and even your spiritual health, is
Yeah.
whatever that looks like for you. All of those are critical pieces to being healthy all through that next phase of life.
So it's all connected.
All very connected, and I don't think people realize that.
Oh my gosh. I think it's all connected. Yes,
Yeah,
definitely. Definitely. When I feel good physically, I feel good mentally, and those are the best times.
agreed.
And
Agreed.
I would love to retire in tip-top shape, but both mentally and physically.
Right.
Well, my wife sometimes wonders about my mental stability.
Oh, speaking of the wife, um,
Oh
a
no.
piece, so a piece of it is communicating with one another and making
Yes.
sure you're on the same page with retirement plans. This is what I see so frequently. Like, one person loves to golf, and he had a whole plan where he was going to move to Florida and be in a certain community where there were 5 courses that were close by, and he had it all figured out, and then mentioned it to his wife, who said, "I never planned to live in Florida."
Wow.
Or another man, he and his wife had talked about traveling for such a long time, when they were when they were sort of raising their kids and whatever.
Mm.
And then there was a window where they could have retired. She retired first, and they had talked about some retiring, but he kept putting it off. And then grandkids were born. And so when he retired, he's ready to travel. And she's like, "Oh, I'm not leaving my grandkids for that long."
Mm.
So just one story after another, where a big piece of it is making sure that you're continuing to communicate and be on the same page, and don't let all of that come to light after you've retired and after everyone's kind of angry with everyone else. If you
For
can
sure. This is not
communicate
a
ahead.
discussion. It's not a discussion you have just one time and then
No,
you put it into action 20 years later.
right.
This has to be a continuous conversation because things change. And grandchildren, I don't know personally, but I think they're wonderful. Yeah, things can change. Sure.
Right. For both of you, for both of you. So
Right, right.
another person retired after a long, illustrious career. I mean, this man was a household name in his profession. And so he retired, and he told his wife, "I've picked my retirement day." And she said, "You're not going to be in this house all day." He had to quickly
Yes.
figure out plan B.
So this is so great. Michelle, what would you say in 20 seconds that would be the big takeaway, the thing you want our listeners to walk away with?
It is critical to plan the health right alongside the wealth as retirement approaches, if you want to live for a long, healthy time.
Okay. And if someone wants help with that, they should definitely contact you.
Yeah.
How can they do that? What's the best way to contact you?
So my website is retirewellness.com. You can email me at Michelle with 2 L's at retirewellness.com, or you can find me on Facebook or with Michelle Fritsch on LinkedIn.
Okay. And that is super. And I know we've just barely scratched the surface, but thank you so much for sharing your expertise.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a great day and a great week. Bye. Bye-bye.